You have stumbled upon Mr. Thrive Stars of Tomorrow, where together we will discover emerging artists.
Craft Motion Films, Menachem Kashanian. Just go with it.
Menachem, I love it. We've not had an intro like that yet. This is season 2, so...
I was going to come in dancing, but...
Sky's the limit. I know. Well, come in dancing like how Jack Black comes and does his intros,
more
right?
like a...
Oh, yeah. Like a little shimmy.
Spice it up,
Yeah,
you know?
make it spicy. Give it
That's how I go.
Right, give it the Middle Eastern flavor, right?
Exactly. A little spicy.
A little spicy. I love it, man.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really cool.
Thank you, and I'm really happy that you came here, and you're more than happy to put up with my bedroom being both a bedroom and a studio. It's not always most glamorous, but here there's no such thing as not glamorous. So
this is fantastic.
Good.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good.
I kind of wanted to be invited to your bedroom, and I'm glad this is the way I get to come in without any weird,
Right. Well, my girlfriend is not going to be happy to hear that. You're not the first person to say that to me.
I'm so sorry. We're good men.
Now I'm in trouble. But now that I'm in trouble, I want to put the focus on Menachem here because you have an online personality. You are an artist, but the way that you introduce yourself, you are the creator of a video production company.
Yes.
And what it's called Craft Motion Films. What does Craft Motion Films do exactly?
So Craft Motion Films, I'm a co-founder. I'm partnered with a fantastic guy named Mendel Katz. He's naturally a DP, and we came together as director DP and created Craft Motion Films. Craft Motion Films, we do high-end video production for organizations, schools, nonprofits, and we're making our way into commercial sector. So it's really exciting. We're starting to do commercials for large corporate clients, and that's like a dream come true.
Right. Are you allowed to name them?
I can name a few. There is a Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the world.
Wow.
Very, very cool that we got that client only in the past year. And we're working with a fantastic copywriter, Aaron Freed. You guys should check him out. He is one of the lead copywriters in the world right now. I'm not even kidding. Check out his website. You're going to be on the floor with his creative comedy and with the ways he's able to really blend people's products and get the message across to all us millennials.
No, definitely. And it seems like that's kind of becoming an art, getting a message across. And what is it that Craft Motion Films does to get that message across in an effective way that still keeps them engaged? Because this is actually me asking a little bit of advice. Mm-hmm. I myself, being a millennial, I still, it's funny, I had a realization today that my dad is more millennial than I am. My dad is on Twitter.
Nice.
My dad, I don't know what it is. There's certain things that he does that I'm like, what the heck?
Listen, we all want to be cool like our dad.
Right.
I mean, that's part of nature.
Right.
Some of us have cooler dads than others. I myself don't have a dad.
Right.
But not in a sad way. I just didn't grow up with a father. I grew up with just my mother. Mm-hmm. And I guess to answer your question, to kind of be out there and to be wanted, it's what I've learned from my mentors. Actually, one of my mentors is a director. His name is Michael Unesi. And one thing that he taught me is there's a whole business side to what we have going on as creatives. Creatives, we don't really like to push with a business, but we own our own companies. We own our own businesses, whether we're freelancing or not. And number one thing is be a service that people will want and can afford, right? We all have those budgets, our dream budgets, but we gotta really reel them in by cutting corners on ourselves, doing as much of the legwork as you can yourself to get those first few large clients in, give them the best product you can, and the rest comes. I mean, we're two guys. We're literally two guys. We started in a garage, and we're still growing in there, actually.
Yeah.
And the coolest part is we're able to put on $50,000 to $100,000 commercials just us two, and we do project based freelance. So let's say if we have our go-to editors and people on set. Let's say we need a PA, we need extra hands, makeup artists and whatnot. We reach out to our go-tos, and being that we don't have a high overhead, we don't have payroll, we're able to keep the costs low and make these beautiful commercials. And that's something that I've learned over time. And you got to grind it out. We start with camp videos, Jewish camp videos in LA.
Right.
So,
Well, it sounds like what you're kind of hinting at is that the way that our industry is going, and this is something that you can pick up just by going on Instagram, on Facebook, just seeing the general content, the video content out there, is that we're right now in a revolution where we're getting closer and closer to a one-man band that can do it all.
sure.
And do it for a good budget that makes sense. Because you hear about millions and millions of dollars being spent on Super Bowl commercials.
It's a joke.
But Doritos, even, like the Doritos commercials, for example, it was a contest where people were making for like $5 budgets.
Oh, fantastic.
These commercials.
Tell them to call us. We can.
Right. No, but you're not making $5 commercials. You're still a two-man team though. That you're able to come up with a realistic budget that's efficient for and convenient for the client.
Yeah.
And you're able to produce that.
Yeah, and I say, partner up with people that you can really mold and really take on different roles. I mean, I'm a director, right? On set, when I get to set, I'm a director. But when you look behind the shower curtain, I'm washing myself. No,
Right.
But when you look behind the shower curtain, I'm actually.
I should hope so.
Did you smell me on the way in? Is that how you knew I parked out front? I mean, I myself, I work with the clients a lot. When it comes to casting, I do a lot of casting. I'll do a lot of set design. I'm a gaffer too sometimes on lower budget things. My partner, who's natively a DP, I mean, he does a lot of the finances. He has a financial background, working for a CPA for many years. As creatives, we have to bootstrap ourselves and take whatever jobs come our way until we can finally make it. We haven't finally made it, but we're only doing video production now. Like, we don't have side hustle, thank God, anymore.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, we went through a lot to get there, and we really fit each other's molds to be able to take on gigs and not have to give money to other people, so that you can really stand on your own 2 feet.
Absolutely. Is that when you abolish the side hustle that helps support the main hustle, would you call that phase 2, or are there a bunch of other steps leading up to that?
I don't think it really ever ends.
Right.
I mean, the second you hit or finish a benchmark, there's literally another hurdle smiling at you. It's waiting. It's literally waiting for you. I mean, I grew from a different production company into where I am now. Changed names. I know how to make websites. I'm a video director. I know how to make a full website now.
Right.
Dude, send me the codes. I can freaking code a whole website now. And that's because we didn't have the money to pay for somebody to create a badass website. Check us out, craftmotionfilms.com. You'll see we have all our content there. We're always updating it. And because we learned from the beginning how to do it, we're updating our own sites daily the way we want to. And that's, you learn. When you go through the grinder, you pick up things on the way.
What's been the most strenuous hurdle to jump over? Is the website building with the coding? Because that's not even film.
It's not even film. I think one of the biggest hurdles is staying afloat during slow times. And what we learned is we need to be dynamic. We have, let's say, a month that pays for 3 months worth of, rent, whatever it is, put some money in the savings. Then you have a month that's slow and there's nothing going on. You realize, what do you do during this month without becoming depressed and then rethinking your entire life, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And the answer I have, and from experience, is you build your company. That month is you're paying yourself your own salary by putting the time into building your own company. The way we look at it is we go out and we film a B-roll, some drone content, so that we can have widen our Rolleiflex of drone footage. Or we start hunting for clients, and we do that. The best way we do that is by sending our videos and whatnot to potential clients, showing them what we can do and how we can advance themselves. This takes a whole day of making a pitch. You spend a whole day to pitch something that you don't even know what the client wants, and that's what we do on our slower days. But luckily, I mean, it's humbling, and I cannot believe we're here where we are right now, where we're turning down some clients.
You're able to turn down clients finally?
Now we are. I mean, and you guys might think that's crazy, like, oh, he's able to turn, but that's a big deal in the creative world.
Yeah.
Where you're able to choose, okay, this client is not fit and it's not going to take us further, and we'd rather put our time into building our company right now.
Because that means power.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
And I don't want to boast too much about where we are right now. I feel like a lot of people are in good places. We're a small boutique production company, but we're starting to be noticed, and people are starting to reach out to us. I mean, in the Jewish LA community, which there are tons of Jewish schools and organizations. That's how we really started.
Right.
We started in a niche community where you have some sort of foot in the door, and we started with small things. We each did our own things until we got to where we are now.
I think that's a smart way to look at it, is to kind of see like the different things that you didn't really necessarily ask for, but just certain things that you have access to, and how can you capitalize on that, and how can you use that to build your way up into making yourself a brand. That kind of sounds like the strategy that you guys have built up, and it is commendable. You're talking about how you don't want to boast too much about it, but not many people can say they do that. I know plenty of people who they talk about that they want to create a business,
Yeah.
but they really don't know how to. They don't have a sense of business mentality because they're too focused on being an artist.
I think the one thing I would say coming off of this is you have to find your mentors.
Who are you? Said you mentioned one mentor before. Who are your other mentors?
So I have a few different mentors. Because you have your own business, right? You have to run your own business. So what does that entail? You want an LLC or an S corp? What kind of production insurance do you want? Like, there's so many things that come to it, and how much money do you want to put back into your business so that you can pay yourselves either salary, employee. How do you not pay self-employment tax? Like, there's a lot of these crazy things that you think don't, but it comes on you really, really fast, and you gotta catch yourself. So what I do is I tell myself, okay, I need somebody to mentor me in directing so I can become the best director I could be. I found my director that has time once in a while that I can have coffee with him. He's a busy guy. He does like crazy Old Spice commercials and like these $1 million commercials. He just has something out right now, Adventure Force 5. Guys, go watch that. It's amazing. It's on Vudu.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Michael Unessi, fantastic director. And you find these people. I have somebody, Ron Wazansky. He's an amazing venture capitalist. He invests a lot in real estate and whatnot. He tells me how to handle my money. There are people you gotta have that you build a relationship with. You don't suck up to them. You have to find somebody that you connect with. There are tons of people that know how to handle money. There are tons of directors. You gotta find somebody that personality that matches, and they want to take time out of their day to come hang out with you. That means your personalities have to match.
Absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of one thing I heard from a family friend of ours who is a therapist. What he was saying was that there are all these different versions of psychology and therapy out there to help individuals. But the one underlying thing that is the most infuriating aspect of the psychology field is that there is no predictor of what is the most effective field. As a matter of fact, the only underlying factor that determines whether or not a psychologist is going to actually be helpful by any capacity is, can you guess?
If he doesn't allow people to commit suicide?
No. The relationship. The relationship is ultimately what helps you grow. And it sounds like what you're talking about is you're not looking for someone that you're subservient to. You're looking for someone that you can build a deep, lasting relationship with, where they can see that there's a mutual engagement going on mentally between the two parties.
This is fantastic that you're saying this. There are tons of photographers.
Right.
Tons of photographers in LA.
Yeah.
They all have fantastic cameras. They can all do basic, framing, foreground, aperture. They know what to put in focus and whatnot, what to blur out and whatnot. How do you choose which one you want? You find the one that brings a good energy to the set, that brings a good energy to the wedding, brings a good energy to where you are. You find the one that's easy to work with. Yeah, okay, you gotta put 5,000 photos on a USB drive. And this person says, let's say the only way you do it is you put it on, let's say, a Google Drive, and you send them a link. And this client's like, I don't know how Google Drive link works. And you can put it on a USB and come to my house. You got to say, yeah, no problem. And they're going to enjoy the comfort. It's a service. Part of what you're doing is a service. You know, there are tons of production companies. A lot of them are creative. You also, a part of it is also a service. There's not one thing that makes you stand out. There's a few things that puts you above others.
No, definitely. And
we're not photographers, by the way. I'm just giving an example of a photographer and how to choose from which one you want.
No, absolutely. You know, well, building off of that too, like what you kind of were just describing, one of my favorite authors, I've mentioned him a few times in the past, is Robert Kiyosaki. Mm-hmm. And Robert Kiyosaki, he's an entrepreneur. He's kind of a business guru, for those who do not know, although he's a pretty popular guy. And one thing that he has always said is that there are thousands of talented people in the world, but very few of them know how to sell. Mm-hmm. And the ones that know how to sell are the ones that thrive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Thrive.
Yeah.
You don't gotta plug yourself into your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
I just gotta make sure.
It just comes nice. It just flows.
I mean, you never know, man. Someone could come onto my podcast and think they're an armchair expert. I mean, I'm a lot like Dak Shepard.
It makes sense.
No, not at all.
But with what you're saying, yeah, I think that's crucial, and on top of all this stuff that we're chatting about, there are things that we have to look up to. People we have to look up to. Books we got to read, podcasts we got to listen to, such as yours. Little things that you could pick up on to really polish yourself. And I think that's what people watching this are doing. That's why they're watching this. You know, they want to polish their craft.
That's why I'm doing this podcast. You know, originally I never thought that I'd be producing a podcast, but I'm here to polish and grow. You know, I realized the best way to learn is to have conversations with multiple people and get their different intakes on the same thing.
And you're growing. You have something else. There's a way you guys are branching out, right? There's like a different events you guys want to have, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you know, when the general world right now is kind of a bit haywire, but when things calm down, which I predict they're going to calm down in the near future, you know, we're going to be able to host live events for networking. Great. What I'm trying to do right now is, there's a problem right now in the entertainment industry, and the problem is that networking events are based around the same roles being in the same room. And that's a problem. The only thing that really does is that if one person cannot make an event, what happens there is it just leads to a referral. But the problem is you can't build a team with a bunch of people who do the same thing. You can't have 3 chefs in the same kitchen. You need 1 chef, 2 cooks, 2 cooks.
Saucy.
Say that 5 times fast. What I'm saying is we're going to get multiple types of people in the same room once a month at different venues across LA.
It's got like I'm cooking that pot. They're all going to mix.
It's going to be a beautiful
and make connections.
Soup. Absolutely. Fantastic. It's going to be really good.
My grandmother makes an amazing soup if you ever want it.
Really?
Get a little
What kind
taste.
Of soup?
There's adasi.
Adasi?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
It's lentil soup.
The lentil soup.
The same one that Asaph had with Jacob, Jacob and Abe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's kind of biblical.
Biblical and delicious.
Biblical and delicious.
That's how I like my soup.
Oh my God. Next time I go to a restaurant, I'm going to order it just like that. Biblical and delicious.
Tell them that.
I will. I hope they know what I mean when I say that.
They won't, but they're going to learn.
They'll learn.
There's a learning curve.
They'll learn. They'll go on Google.
But what I want to talk more about how you said, you know, psychologist, what's the difference between them and a normal person? It's because how you relate and how, you know, you have that relationship.
Yeah, definitely. He's leading the conversation now, by the way. I'm no longer interviewing. We're just having a conversation.
No. We're just chit-chatting. I mean, what's cool is like I was initially going to be a lawyer.
Really?
Graduate UCLA, 4.0, Regent Scholar Society. I only say that because I can never use my transcripts or anything for anything anymore. Okay. So I just throw it out there.
Yeah, throw it
out
there.
When I get a coffee, I say, my name is Menachem Shani, 4.0, Regent Scholar Society, and I'll Frappuccino. Thank you. When else am I going to ever use my UCLA graduate degree?
No, you should flaunt it 100%.
I'm flaunting it.
You deserve it. You earned it.
I gotta find a way to like put it on something and tell people.
That's a good idea.
This is a good way though. This is a good way. Thank you guys. Thank you for acknowledging. But I was gonna go to law school. I worked at a law firm for 2 years, and you know, I don't know if I want to go into the whole story, but while I was at UCLA, I took a lot of film classes. I found my niche in directing. Took an accelerated directors program towards my end of UCLA, And what's crazy is I I didn't think I was gonna have good relationships with people and the way I could be myself as a lawyer in a courthouse. People kick ass as lawyers. There are fantastic, super cool, very, very, very smart lawyers out there, and they enjoy what they do. I realized the relationships I would build as a lawyer wouldn't be the relationships that I would want because personally, I'm not a lawyery type, right? There are accountant type people. There are medical type people that enjoy medical conversation and they want to go into the medical field. I didn't. My parents, hell yeah, they're like, you better want to be a lawyer type person.
Right.
And I broke out of that. And I went after what I wanted. It took a lot longer than if I just went to law school and started working. But hey, there are still poor lawyers out there.
Definitely.
And they're you don't really know which way it's going to take you. So I went after something that I thought I'd make good relationships with, that I could do a service to my community, giving my creativity, my talents, and it's been a heck of a ride, man.
I bet. It sounds like you've had a long history with kind of delivering a certain level of entertainment to people.
Yeah, the way I would describe it is, I mean, I've always enjoyed. I have a comedy side. You guys can check me out, Menachem K, on Instagram.
And we'll definitely talk more about that soon.
Yeah, so I mean, delivering, my personality is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be hired as a lawyer if they see me half naked running around with eggplants on my hand and like and like feeding my grandmother, you know what I mean, with like Persian goat milk.
Right.
Which there are videos of those online.
Right.
And I don't think people would want to hire me for like $1 million case.
Right. Well, do you ever worry about that where like you've gone so far down the rabbit hole, but there's no other option? Does that ever worry you?
Have you ever been into a hole so far deep that the light starts to shine on the other side?
Like literally?
Figuratively. Man,
Yeah.
I made it out the other side. When you lose yourself and your ego and all that, and you become a different person, you come out the other end and you're like, I could do whatever the hell I want.
Right.
I come out of my house and I'm like, today I'm gonna be a Persian guy. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come and say hi to everybody like this.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna make a face like that, and I'm gonna pretend like this is who I am.
Right.
Maybe he's schizophrenic. Maybe he's a little schizophrenic, but it's how I enjoy myself. I could massage this, and I don't care. This is weird, but I could do whatever I want now.
Right.
And a part of that is I have been clinically diagnosed with. I'm just kidding. A part of
Don't do that.
a part of me is it's because you got to do what you love, and what you love, it's gonna bring the happiness out of you, and you're gonna be a different person. I have shitty gigs, but I come out of there happy as hell.
Right.
I love those people that destroy me, sorry, for like a month of like re-edits. I come out of there and I'm like, damn, that's great.
Right.
I liked it.
You kind of went over that hurdle that you went out of.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel stronger coming out.
Came out of that hole.
Right. Well, so I probably sound like an idiot like a minute ago because when you said, "Have you ever been in a hole with light at the end of the tunnel?"
Yeah.
When you asked that question, I was literally drawing on a real experience of mine that I went through. I had a therapist a couple years ago who challenged me to go on an adventure, just up by myself. She says, "When's the last time you went out and like just did something spontaneous?" I'm like, I don't know. So like I thought about a few things and I thought like, okay, what if I went kayaking in the ocean just by myself? That was my first thought. But then I went on Google because I was like, what adventures are there to do in LA that are attainable?
A lot of weird stuff.
I found that there are tunnels. There are literal tunnels under LA.
Oh my God.
Under the Hall of Records in Los Angeles. They were originally built to bootleg alcohol during the Prohibition.
No kidding.
However, they later became famous because they were the very tunnels that Charles Manson was escaped out of by his followers.
No way.
Before his trial. And now they're just a giant archive for all the crazy Los Angeles trials that have ever happened. But you can easily get in because the building is barely supervised.
Oh my gosh.
I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but
I think we should start having our podcasts in there.
I mean, it's very echoey, but I'm down. So what happened was I went down in those tunnels. It took me all day alone.
Oh gosh.
And I was going down, and as it got deeper, it got hotter and hotter, and I didn't expect that. I thought if anything it'd be colder. I remember being rainy outside, And my first realization was, as I was going deeper and deeper, is I made it in so easy. I don't know who is at the bottom of this tunnel.
Uh-oh.
And it's getting darker and darker. And as it's getting darker and darker, I'm hearing sounds.
Uh-oh.
I'm beginning to hear this wailing sound, like someone's being tortured.
Ooh.
And it was really, really scary. I didn't know what the sound was.
I want to go deeper. Did you go deeper?
Well, so eventually I got to the point where you turn a corner and it's just pitch black.
Ah.
I got to that point. And if I had a knife with me, I would consider going deeper. But I decided not to.
Good idea.
I decided not to because I was by myself. I mean, that would be it.
I think your psychologist wanted to see if you'd go deeper or not.
Right,
And
right.
be like, if you went deeper, you need to see somebody else.
And so I remember, like, as I'm leaving, I made a video just in case I got lost and someone found my dead body. I made a video.
God forbid.
God forbid, you know, just like on my way out, like, okay, I love my parents. I'm hearing sounds. Let me show you with my experience.
Oh gosh.
I hope I'm okay. Here's evidence. Oh my God. And so finally I made it out. And that was a crazy experience. And I'm actually really glad I did it.
Well, you went on an adventure. That was a heck of an adventure.
Right, right. But to go back to the figurative thing, which
Yeah.
is what you were intending for. You know, personally, I can see a light. You know, for me personally, I have a plan. And like I mentioned before, there was, you know, the networking events that I'm planning on creating and utilizing venues, but then also building a community around that.
Sure.
And getting people excited about what Mr. Thrive Media is and what it can do for artists, and being a resource center for entertainment professionals across not only Los Angeles but America. And that's my plan. That's my goal.
You go after, you chase after whatever, and you accept every single opportunity. I mean, look, this is amazing. I'm here right now talking with you, and we're sharing life stories. Majority of the people on my social media do not know that I make money from making high production videos.
Right.
They think I'm just this Iranian guy let loose and just running around LA doing crazy videos.
But you're much more than that.
Thank God. And they probably don't know that I have a college degree. They probably don't know that, and I don't flaunt that. I don't talk about it because my character online is that's how he exists.
Right.
But you know, I'm happy, and this is exciting. This is free marketing right here. And
no, definitely. Please.
And this is awesome.
Please take it. I beg you, because you're a really talented artist.
Thank you.
And of course, you've been kind of hinting at this character of yours, Dr. Shirazi.
Dr. Shirazi.
Dr. Shirazi.
How are you doing? Thank you so much.
How'd you find this character?
Well, basically, a lot of Persians during the revolution lost their jobs coming to the United States for the better life, right? And I noticed a lot of Uber drivers saying that they're doctors and they're Persian people because they lost their medical licenses as Uber, and then now they drive Ubers. There are brain surgeons, for example, from Iran that cannot get their licenses here as a brain surgeon because they lost it there. They went through years of schooling and they're old and they can't get through the whole testing again. And they drive Uber. So this character came up of Dr. Shirazi, where he was a brain surgeon in Iran. He's a loose cannon. And he comes to America for the American dream. And he doesn't practice as a surgeon, but he opens a mechanic shop. And imagine this Iranian guy practicing medicine in secret in his mechanic shop. And we have 3 episodes now. And it's super cool, and we have this character that we developed, and and this character has been blowing up. Dr. Shirazi, he opened a mechanic shop. It gets broken down because of the IRS due to not paying his taxes. Right. It's a Persian thing. I'm kidding. I pay my taxes. I love this country. Thank God. If this country wasn't here, my family wouldn't exist. We really would not exist. Wow. We had nowhere to run. As Persian Jews, when we were running during the revolution, the U.S. had us come with open arms, and they helped us so much throughout. I'm a first-generation American. I have a college degree.
That's remarkable.
I have my own business now.
It's almost unheard of.
It's crazy. And my mother's a nursery school teacher, and I only grew up with a single mother. It's the resources in the United States and the communities that have been built here that help people like me and my family be able to get a chance at life.
It's crazy. And you think about the odds of immigrants. I'm sure you had a reaction to the last major, and it's currently still going on, the refugee crisis that took place with Syria.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have had a reaction looking at that a bit.
I mean, I only see stories from my family and images in my head from the stories growing up. But whenever you see it live on video, it's scary. You see these kids like mother breastfeeding while bombs are going off. I mean, that's scary, and
really
not
scary.
and not having a place to go. But let's talk about happy stuff.
Yeah, no. We'll talk about that. I verged off.
Yeah, no, but so Dr. Shirazi, just going back on this, my character is a mix between Charlie Chaplin, so a lot of situational humor, a lot of facial expressions. What are you doing? Right?
Right.
And like, oh, something's nice in here.
like I'm watching you like turn to this character, and you go through this metamorphosis so fast, and I really have no idea how you do it.
Yeah, I think because I do it in public all the
Right.
time, and I practice it. And somebody actually commented on it. They're like, "Are you two people? Like, how do you turn your face into that all of a sudden?"
Right. Right. Like, do you have multiple personality disorder? Which you don't.
I'm calculating. Whoopsie! I'm calculating everything, and I'm adding them as we go today.
Right.
I'm learning a lot about these terms.
Well, did you ever see that Jim Carrey documentary?
Oh, A Man on the Moon.
God, I don't think it's what it was called. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about Jim Carrey's personal life and his identity crisis.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's so crazy. I'm actually blanking on the name. I feel like such a doofus right now.
I saw the one where he played Andy Kaufman,
Right. Maybe that was it.
and he like lost himself in the character.
I'm pretty sure that was it. It's the new one, right? The one that came out
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
That was very inspiring. That's
Man
like
on the Moon, right?
I think it's Man on the Moon,
Yeah, so good.
and that's very inspiring.
Right.
Andy Kaufman, man, he changed the game.
He really did. But it's not just Andy Kaufman, because it's Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman, and later on Andy Kaufman as his other characters.
Yes.
And it's just like a constant, like, speaking of going down the rabbit hole, using that phrase again, it's this constant character play within characters. And I remember trying to keep track of it, and at the very end having a headache because I just couldn't conceive how he was doing it.
And nobody knows who the true Andy is. You never know.
And no one knows who the real Jim Carrey is.
That's true. It gives me chills. I did a little stand up on the side just for fun, on like, just to do some fun things and relax the mind. So I did it. I sweat profusely, by the way. When I do stand up, I didn't know that's when the showers start coming out.
Oh wow. Scary, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't scared. I don't know why my body did that. It's like an on switch, if like just a release. I don't know why.
Sure.
I felt fine on stage, but I would be introduced as Dr. Shirazi. And I come to stage as Dr. Shirazi, and I leave as Dr. Shirazi.
Was it well received?
So people laugh because they don't know if they should be laughing, because I'm a terrible stand-up comedian.
Right.
I'm on screen, right? I'm terrible at being stand-up live performance. I usually do. I can be a weird guy like this right now, but I cannot like do that on stand-up.
Right.
And have a whole set.
They just haven't understood the shtick yet.
Yeah, but it's just so funny because they come to me and they're like, I tell them, yeah, I'm doing an entire year, tour as a comedian here in America. I'm learning a lot about the culture. And like, I'm blabbering off. And some of the stories are actually kind of funny, but they're not funny enough that I see people dying in their chairs.
Right.
And they come up to me like, how long are you doing your tour for? This is so cool. I'm Iranian too, by the way.
Oh.
And I'm like... And I stay in my character.
Yeah.
I give them like my fake website, my fake everything.
Oh my God! So these don't exist.
Yeah.
You're just staying in character.
I'm the whole time, and I leave. I have a Dr. Shirazi Instagram and a website just for fun for this reason.
Oh my God!
And I did this for a few months.
Okay.
And it started catching on. I probably shouldn't be telling you guys all this because that's like breaking the whole rule.
These are secrets. Secrets.
Breaking the whole rule of me being that character. But in public, nobody knows who I am. I'm not big enough that people know me.
Dr. Shirazi is exposed. On Mr. Thrive Stars of Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
I usually have a thick unibrow. It's very funny. You guys, when you add a unibrow to anything, it's just extra funny.
It really is. And I was gonna ask. That's obviously some makeup that you put up right there.
Yeah,
right
yeah. It's eyelash mascara, not mascara. The eyelash thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that stuff.
I don't know.
I just buy it. It comes like in this thing. You pop it out and you just kind of like roll it on here.
Okay.
And it washes off nicely.
Perfect.
But it gives you a nice thick line. It just makes that connection, man.
No,
It just connects it.
Every time I see this, I do a little double take because I don't
It
know
looks real.
I don't know if I'm looking at Menachem or if I'm looking at Dr. Shirazi.
Dude, it looks real. I've gone to a party with it on in character. I've gone to a party in character.
Have you ever left it on accident? Like you're kind of back as Menachem, but
I think I got in the car and I was at a red light and someone was looking at me and like started giggling, and I'm just like just my dumb, hey, what's up? And they're just like laughing and because it's a thick nobody has a unibrow like that.
That's just mean.
And they were cracking up, and then I look at myself like, oh shoot, I forgot to take it off. It was so funny.
That's
I want to be that character more often. Like,
right.
It's just it releases you from the social norms and the construct of everything because there's no rules when you're this character.
No, totally. Well, it's kind of like that old wives' tale where if you keep that face long enough, it'll stick. You know, like I mean, that personality might just stick, man.
Hey,
and it's not a warning. It's more so just you do you, man.
I wear sweatpants all the time in this character. I put it above my waist.
Sounds very comfortable to me.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to stay like that.
That's great.
Yeah. With flip flops, Iranian sandals, huge big toe just sticking out. Dude, when you see a big toe like that, you're like, what's this guy thinking? But when I see it, I'm like, that looks nice.
You know what I think of when I see that? Did you watch SpongeBob growing up?
Oh, when he's pressing the gas pedal? Amazing.
When he pops out his toe, dink, and I always would imagine that when I'd put a light foot on the gas pedal training. That helped me a lot,
I've learned so much from SpongeBob. How to tie your shoe.
Oh,
Do the loop-de-loop and pull.
Right.
Now your shoe's on. Looking good. So, yeah, I mean, SpongeBob was a classic. But let's get back to... So, we're talking about Dr. Shirazi, this character. Right. And yeah, I mean, I think we all have our hobbies. And that's, I guess, part of a majority of my life is that. Other than craft motion films,
Totally. Well, I love it. It's a totally infectious, it totally rubs off in the best way. And I've always loved your content with Dr. Shirazi, the Persian Mr. Bean.
Exactly, the Persian Mr. Bean.
But you've entertained... Hold on. So you've entertained all your life. And it didn't just start there. When you first came... Were you alive when your parents... When your mom and grandma first came to America? Were you alive then, or...
I was not. I was born, I think, like 10 years after that or something like that.
Right.
I'm not even sure.
Right. But right away you started entertaining. You kind of started working pretty fast then.
Yeah. So right when in high school, I started working. I mean, only because of my financial situation. Not as an entertainer. Actually, part of it was, looking back, in high school, just to pay to go to school for my gas. The school I was in is in the city. I live in the valley. And just to go there, I had to start paying for my own gas because my mother was paying for 3 kids, supporting my grandmother and my grandfather that were here at the time. They're still here, actually. I live with my grandmother still now, thank God. It's the coolest relationship. You guys got to check her out, Mommy Shanaz, on my Instagram. She's hilarious. And just in high school, I started playing percussion. I started playing percussion, and I started playing at weddings, dancing and performing at weddings, Israeli drums. And I was playing at large-scale weddings like you wouldn't believe, making like $600 to $700 a night.
Wow.
And I was getting booked like 3 times a month, and that's killer cash, dude. Killer cash. In high school, I started helping out. I started, collecting these funds, and a lot of it just stayed in my savings, other than having to pay for things. But this is later on. I mean, this is like coming out of high school. In high school, I was just paying for gas. I was a little guy playing the drums at house parties and whatnot. Going into college, I started playing at weddings and stuff, and that's when I started to actually make money instead of just spending all the money that I made. Well, I make good money.
Right.
Is what I mean. There's a difference between whatever you make, you spend that month, compared to whatever you make, you spend, and you get to save some.
Well, suddenly you became the rich kid in the school, but even more unique, especially in this generation, is that you're probably the only kid working for that money.
I was definitely not the rich kid. The school I went to was $30,000 a year. $30,000 a year for the school.
I take it back.
And well, they helped my mother out a lot. I mean, I can't say how much, but we would not have been able to go there at all.
Right.
All 3 of us went to that school.
Wow.
Amazing school.
Wow.
They really helped us out. But going off on that, I was able to make the money I needed to support myself throughout high school, and that was just from the get go. I had to make my own money. I mean, and a lot of us didn't have to work in high school. I mean, think about that. I had to work, and with that mindset, I worked all throughout college. I worked at a law firm when I was in college. Um, I, I, I mean, I'm blessed to have had that push because I'm 25, mid 20s, and being that I have my own production company, a lot of it has to do with my financial hard headedness. Um, and I think that's a big part of it. But you have your bad times. Like one time I was playing the drums at a wedding, and this is kind of like what made me stop playing percussion at events. Um, and the music went out. Right, the DJ was dancing, the music went out, the power went out. So I grabbed my drum and I started. I mean, and we've all had these weird work experiences. I started playing the drums so people can start dancing and whatnot. And then people started like putting money, like $20, $100 bills. This is a high scale wedding. Persian weddings are insane in LA. If you want to see like magic, watch a Persian wedding. It's insane. Like magic carpet ride. I don't know how they do it. Like the craziest things at weddings they're able to do.
Wow.
And they're putting money in my pocket and all over me. And they start like wiping my head with dollar bills and my sweat because I was sweating profusely dancing. I usually bring like 4 to 5 shirts to weddings. It's just my thing. I sweat through all my shirts. Whether I'm a performer or I'm celebrating, I sweat like crazy. And they started doing this and they started treating me kind of like I was like a stripper.
Yeah.
Like they're like, dance, monkey, dance. And they're putting money in. And I'm like, dude, I'm a college graduate. I went through a lot too in school and in life, and I have a lot more to give than being thrown money like that in a disrespectful way. And I'm like, this is how people see me. I was there for the fun. I was there to dance and enjoy myself and give some happiness to the bride and groom. But if this is how people are treating me like I'm a nobody, I don't want to be handed money like that. I I mean, I kept the money and it was very helpful. But
Sure.
at the end of the day, I look back and that's when I pulled the plug. I still do gigs here and there for like people that I know. I know the guests, the groom and the bride, or I really know the DJ really well. But that's like when I started to like really wean off of that.
It's funny. I didn't expect you to remind me of something, but this is something that I told myself a long time ago, and it relates to a story that happened recently to me too. So I get where you're coming from. I had this realization a couple years ago that there is a difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur. And I think what you just said kind of pinpointed something I haven't really considered yet, which is that entrepreneurs respect themselves enough not to put themselves in those situations. And they work towards getting out. But a hustler looks at that and they see an opportunity to earn the quick grab money. And they kind of sacrifice a personal side of their identity just to be able to get that extra buck. And I feel like that was this identifying moment, this key moment for you personally, where you realized I'm above the stripper mentality.
Yeah.
I had a similar moment working at the last job that I had at Dave and Buster's. It was another late night. I was bussing and
Busting at Buster's.
and this like guy was going around. He was like dressed in like a fur coat, like super extravagant. Might have been a real animal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of
You got to
disturbing.
smell him and you'll know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's a real animal or not.
But this guy is kind of strutting around, and he starts throwing around dollar bills.
Oh.
And I've never seen anyone do that before. I've never. You see that in movies, don't see that in real life. This
Yeah.
guy did it. And if you want to see the closest thing to a Scorsese extravagant film kind of thing, go to Dave and Buster's Hollywood, because it gets really insane to the point where it's stimulus overload. And
It's rowdy.
It's almost not fun when you're looking at it from a professional perspective. But there's this guy who's basically a pimp throwing around single dollar bills. And then my first thought was, ooh, money, which is what anyone would think.
Yeah.
And I got on my knees and I started picking up wet dollar bills
Oh,
off
gosh.
the beer battered floors. And I remember like putting it in my pockets and feeling like my pockets get damp because of this beer soaked money.
Nasty.
And I remember counting it in the corner because I realized that if anyone else saw that I had picked up those dollar bills, they'd want me to share it with them. I remember going home and I put it in one of my tzedakah boxes behind me.
Chazak Baruch.
And I did not feel good about it. I did not feel good. I felt dirty. I felt like I was as dirty as the beer battered floor I'd pick the dollar bills off of.
So you just put it in charity. You're like, I don't want that kind of money.
Yeah, I would, I made it a point to get those exact dollar bills, and I would, see a homeless guy on the side right outside the freeway off ramp, and I would try to hand over a dollar bill when I could. Just get that money away from me.
Yeah.
But then also work hard towards getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that's exactly it. It's part of it is hustling. You need some of that hustle.
Yeah.
But then, you don't hustle your whole life. You hustle, but as an entrepreneur mentality. By hustle, I mean, yeah, dude, I have 15-hour days, 16-hour days, and they're back to back a lot of the time. And I gotta jump on a deadline. I'm editing. I edit a lot of the stuff we do. And it's exhausting, but you don't find that feeling of accomplishment until you get through those days. And it's part of it's the hustle. You got to get through that hustle, but once the hustle starts hustling you,
Yeah.
once the hustle starts hustling you, it's time to grow to the next step.
Absolutely.
And that's the entrepreneur mentality.
And you know what though, it's really tough for general people to kind of get this sometimes, because I realize that hustling is something that is romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you're even at a young age, the hustle is romanticized. I mean, again, like I said, like throwing dollar bills up in the air, like that was something I only saw in movies, and that seemed cool to me.
Yeah.
And then I realized that's like the lowest of low in terms of ways to grab that money. You didn't earn it. You were just a social Darwinist person.
You were there while that rich guy wanted to fart it all out.
Right. And that guy was just trying to show off, by the way, that he had money.
Yeah. You see a lot of that in Beverly Hills.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, I don't know, man. It's just weird. But like, it's funny because I have a friend of mine who always goes on his, when I have fuck you money, that's what he calls it. When he gets that money that he's talking about, he's always talking about that.
When the wire hits.
When the wire hits, but in my mind, it's like,
I think
it's not the right way to think about it.
But I think there's a time and place. Like that guy could have been throwing that money out in a different place where, like, let's say people that are busting, like a lot of them are working the paycheck to paycheck at the time. Like they need to make ends meet. Don't throw the money out like that in front of them. I mean, throw it out at a different place. Let's say at a basketball game where it's we're not like full of clients. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, maybe do that. I don't know. I guess I'm just spewing nonsense.
Not nonsense at all. No. It was an interesting idea. I would have to see what that would look like personally. I don't know. It might cause another frenzy.
Probably would. But I feel like it'll be people that are not in their employee setting and they think that they got that extra money while they're on their job. I feel like there are a lot more people, let's say, at a basketball game. Like a lot of the fans will be picking that up rather than the people that are working there. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't want to get deep philosophical with that.
No, definitely not. But I think, though, that even though you went through the hustle,
we've reached the weird part of the podcast.
We've reached the weird part. But, like, it's still
choosing where people can throw their money.
Right.
Like, okay, you can throw your money here, you can throw your money. Like, I never thought about that, honestly. I don't have, like, my rule on that. I was just thinking about it in a deeper way. Like,
all right, where do you think the worst place is to throw money around?
Worst place to throw money? Probably, what's that street in downtown where the old unfortunate homeless people?
Oh, Skid Row?
Skid Row.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact street name, but that's the word. Okay.
Because someone's going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
You throw that money, there's someone going to stab someone for that money.
True.
They're all going to be running after it.
And you're just going to feel so bad watching all that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the person throwing it's probably going to want it because that's kind of where he's coming from.
Right.
But go ahead.
I was going to say a funeral. Imagine you go to a funeral and you just throw it, and then, like, I think there'd be, like, this confusion, like...
people use money to celebrate Armenian weddings.
That's right, they do. Yeah.
They throw money in the air. It's pretty cool.
I think I've seen it, actually.
Yeah. Do people pick it up? I mean, are there guests that they start, like, sneaking some of that into their pocket?
Maybe.
Who mops that up? I'm happy to mop it up at the end of the day.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that might be one of those things where they might just have, like, the cleanup crew, like, this is their tip.
Or it's production money. We've worked with fake money too.
True. Yeah, right. Well, prop money is an interesting thing.
Prop
there's
money, yeah.
there's a guy on Hollywood Boulevard, right below the Hollywood and Highland Mall, that sells fake money. Like you can go there and you can exchange your real dollar bills for like prop stacks of money, and it's the funniest thing to me.
Nice. We've rented it. We rent fake money in the past.
Right.
They usually stack them, and the first few are the fake dollar bills. So legit, $100 bills.
Really?
And they're fat stacks. And I swear, I think they use these for all those like rapper music videos.
Oh yeah, totally.
We're just shitting it all out. Like, it's coming out of the car.
Right.
It's coming out of his pants.
Right.
It's coming out of her pants.
Right.
It's coming out of the dog's mouth. They're bringing money out of the weirdest places. It's coming out of the jacuzzi. Oh no, it's in the jacuzzi's filter. Oh, the filter just burnt. But it's money.
But it's money. They open up the oven. There's more money.
There's more. That's the music videos. Indecently dressed women,
Right.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
because they're just there as objects.
objects, and they're selling them
Yeah.
to the viewers.
Right. No, totally.
Who are not really listening to the music. They're watching the eye candy. And then you have people throwing money as if like no, I mean we shouldn't value money that much. We should respect it. People work hard for money.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like that's another thing that romanticizes the hustler mentality.
Yeah.
Are all these different, videos. Like how many rap videos out there can you name? I'm not even gonna name them. That just like have like that. They're like, okay, people on a cruise, rapping, talking about alcohol, drugs, money, half naked
I think
girls.
I think that's what it is.
I mean,
A
like
lot
it's.
of them.
I would say like safely, 80% of rap music videos are that, if higher, and it's like. It's
But
not
there,
even-
I
it's
mean,
not even good.
obviously, there are a lot of rap videos that have a lot of meaning.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that speak
definitely.
about someone's life.
Definitely.
Getting out of, let's say, a very tough situation.
Right, Eminem's guilty of that 100%.
Yeah, and and like relationships, and like, dude, rap is poetry. It's an amazing art, but there's so much of it that is not doing it the right way, and we shouldn't throw all the rotten tomatoes into the same basket with the good tomatoes.
That's very true.
But I mean, you see them on the YouTube videos. You see what we're talking about.
Definitely. Every now and then I play this game with my parents. If we're on a road trip, for example, we'll be driving somewhere, and I'll be like, Mom, Dad, I need to show you a song. And they roll their eyes because they know what I'm doing. I'm like, I just need to show you a song. And I purposely pull up a song that I know they're going to hate.
Oh gosh.
And I do it all the time. I just want to see their reaction. I just want to see their reaction to the new Lil Dicky song or whatever.
They have no
they're
idea
on.
what's flying. I think any song at this point.
Right.
they have-
And, oh no, please continue.
I was thinking they're just confused a lot of the music we're putting out there.
Oh yeah. The triplet. Yeah, the mumble rap.
They're
Yeah.
just all mumbly shumbly.
Right.
Dingly dingly dungly. Babbly babbly boop. A shubity bibbity bap. Chris D'Elia does a great impression of the mumble rap. He's fantastic.
Would Dr. Shirazi ever have his own mumble rap song?
We can make one right now.
Okay.
Ding dong ching ding dang shling ding ding dang dang ding nom bon ding dang shling ding 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 ding
Thank you so much. I mean, that's part of it.
It's Lil Shirazi, yo.
Little Shirazi.
Lil Shirazi.
My name is Mr. Shirazi. How are you doing? I ask because I care and I wanna know now.
It's like Dr. Shirazi trying to impress a girl on a Tinder date,
Dinner date?
but with rap.
I swipe a lot left. I swipe on you right. You look very ripe, like a nice
Person.
great.
Nailed it.
But I'm not so good at that kind of stuff. I have friends that rap like they know how to rhyme. I have very limited words in my. I can't even think about what that word is.
Totally.
I have limited words in my,
No,
and I can't even say that word.
Right.
I have limited words in my portfolio of words, I guess you could say.
Lexicon. That's the word.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you should hang out with me more.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You'll educate me.
So I used to do this thing in
I
college.
should hang out with you more. Sorry. I said
No,
that
we
wrong.
should definitely hang out after this. What are you doing after this?
probably gonna post something about this.
Fair enough. But what I in college, I was notorious for having a word of the day calendar for 2 years in a row. It was this goal. As soon as New Year's was over, as soon as it was January 1st, I had a word of the day calendar, and my friends started to unfriend me off of Snapchat because that would be the only thing I'd post on my stories. Like, what's the word of the day? And there were some very weird words that you would just never hear.
Yeah.
Like when it wasn't even a word, it was a name that would be used in a phrase. It was a Scarlet Pimpernel, which is a name.
Pimpernel.
Right. Someone who is a Scarlet Pimpernel.
And what is that?
Is someone who smuggles immigrants. And I don't, they didn't
It's a nice way to put it.
It didn't explain the historical background to it. I just looked at it and went, okay. I don't know when I'm going to use this one.
Imagine somebody coming to America from Iran.
Right.
Looking at the mother and like saying, "Mom, I want to be a Scarlet Pimpernel."
When I grow up.
Just because he doesn't know what that job entails.
Right.
And chooses that on his like UCLA like or whatever college like there's so many occupations now.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlet Pimpernel would be one of them when you go to like one of those
That'd be crazy.
career classes.
I'd be genuinely surprised, and I hope that student who wants to be a Scarlet Pimpernel raises their hand and announces what they want to be.
Yeah.
That'd be phenomenal.
Get a head start in the game. I'm not sure what the learning curve is to become a Scarlet Pimpernel, but hey, you learn it in college, you'll probably be pretty good at it.
If there is a crowdfunding campaign to fund that kid's education, I am the first person to fund it, man.
Nice.
I am so down. I'm giving at least
Half your tzedakah money.
half my tzedakah money.
And a quarter of your bar mitzvah money.
No.
All right, we're not going to touch your bar mitzvah money. We get it. I don't touch my bar mitzvah money either.
No, I used mine to buy my first car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a hand-me-down for my mom. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I got that soccer mom car, but they wouldn't let me drive, even though it had like 7 different seats. Anyone else in the car?
I drove my mom's Toyota Sienna.
Okay.
7-door minivan.
Right.
7-door. 7-seat.
Did you smuggle people too? Were you a Scarlet Pimpernel?
I was a Scarlet Pimpernel, driving people as a Scarlet Pimpernel from the valley to the city as the best Scarlet Pimpernel. And I would drive like 7 kids. Dude, I was a minivan driver. Okay, in high school.
Yeah.
I drove kids for a living in high school, back and forth.
Did they pay you?
They paid me for my gas. And we were all real with each other. I'm like, hey, there's gas in the car. We're all splitting it.
You led a black market taxi business
Before Uber ever existed. And that is a black market talkie business.
I love it.
But yeah, and that was another way I made money. I mean, a lot of it went to gas. All the people that were in my car gonna be like, did you not use all the money for freaking gas? Hey guys, okay, there's a little bit extra that I bought things with, but I think almost all of it was for gas.
What did you buy with your black market money?
Like chocolate. I don't know. Like when I went to the gas station to pay for the gas, I bought an extra because like there's a few dollars here and there.
I want to let you know that if I was your friend from high school, I'd be livid right now.
They're going to post something on my Facebook. This guy's an asshole. I don't trust him anymore. But that's some funny stories. Like when I was driving in high school, back and forth for like 2 years. Back and forth. One time, and I was cool with everyone. I was driving from the valley. The valley, like 818, we all had each other's backs. Because we were in a school with 310s. Mm-hmm. And all of them were like super wealthy families driving Mercedes to school with BMWs. That's the kind of school I was going to. And we all had each other's backs. So we knew the game. We would go and have breakfast at bar mitzvahs that we're not even invited to in the valley before coming to school sometimes. And one time, just to get free breakfast, I mean, we took what we can. And one time I took all of them to a bar mitzvah in the valley. They stuffed their faces with cottage cheese and cucumber. It was a Persian breakfast. So a lot of cheeses and vegetables.
Okay.
Persian bar mitzvah. And we're headed to the city down Sepulveda. And I look in the rearview mirror and I see one of them's like this.
Oh no.
And I look to the side of him and both of them are hugging the side of the car away from him.
Oh my
and
God.
He's in the center. And I'm like, oh my God, does he have vomit in his mouth? The poor kid has vomit in his mouth.
And it's in your car.
And it's in my mom's car.
Oh, your mom's car. Even worse.
She's going to smack me up. I mean, she never hit me. don't come after her. She's great. and what I did was we also packed bags from the bar mitzvah of food for lunch.
Oh no.
We all had bagels and like stuff from the bar mitzvah that we packed.
Oh no.
And I look back and I'm like, I gotta do something. Fight or fight. Fight or flight. One of those. And I give him the bag and I'm like, first of all, this is my lunch that I packed. And like really embarrassingly took it out of there. So I don't want to just give it up. But I gave it to him. He blew. It was actually on a paper. It was actually on a plastic plate.
Yeah.
The bagel was on a plastic plate. So he threw up on the bagel in the plastic plate. And then the second I saw that come out of his mouth, literally like the dam bursted open. He was choking on the throw up of the poor guy for a while. I swerve out to the freeway and he's holding the throw up like this.
Oh.
I swerve, it comes off the plate and onto the guy hugging the wall.
Oh no.
Just hits him. Smelly goat cheese, and really thick milk, and just all over him. He was trying to dodge it the whole drive. We finally get out. We go to the gas station, and he's just like, we're just mopping the poor kid, getting it off of all this cheese and like
It's nasty.
half like broken down like stuff.
Oh god.
And it kind of got into my seat, and everyone
Oh,
stepped on
no.
it. So like it was carpet seats.
So did it turn to like that scene in Pulp Fiction where they're cleaning off the dead body, like where you guys just all like conjointly like cleaning up?
Yes, we were all washing
puke.
each other.
Oh my god.
Funny enough, the guy that threw up is actually my cousin, and he didn't get too much on him. It all got onto this other guy that was trying to avoid it at the most. Ended up having to take everyone back home. Everyone changed their clothes. Came to school like half the school was already done.
So how'd you hide it from your mom?
It was impossible to hide it. You smelled it. That thing smelled like half the gas. That's another thing I spent my gas money on, a detail wash.
Right. And
Half
you're
that money
still there.
Half that money. Poor thing. I think after we sold the car, I think you could still smell it. It was such a strong, guys. Don't never, if you ever have puke, never puke anything dairy in a car. It's very, 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 very bad.
That's bad.
I puked recently
Oh.
in an Uber.
Oh
but
no.
on the outside of the car.
Oh, so they didn't charge you.
They charged me $100.
They still did charge you?
Dude, Lyft, you better get back to me because I puked on the outside of the door and I washed it off as we were driving drunk because I wasn't driving drunk.
That's
I was drunk in
stupid.
the back.
That's stupid.
And the Uber driver was driving, and I washed it all off. It smelled terrible. I had lamb, and it smelled really bad. I mean, lamb already has a very strong smell. Imagine
that'll do it. That'll do it.
half already
Yeah.
digested.
Regurgitated.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But long story short, they charged me, and there was no stain. And you know what this guy did? He went home, made oatmeal, and put it on the door of the car and on the inside of the car.
And took a picture?
Took a picture and uploaded it to Lyft, and they charged me.
What a scammer.
A scammer. And I told him, hey, I puked
Oh my
outside the
God.
car, and it was only on the door, and there was nothing there when I left. And the guy took the puke all. I'm not gonna say his name. I memorized his name. I memorized everything. I'm very frustrated about it. I'm probably gonna call
That's
my
messed
bank
up.
and just like cancel that charge. $100, but you know, I'd rather use that $100 for something else.
No, that's yeah.
And I tried my best. If anything, I would have rather puke on his face if I could have. I was my head was out the car the whole time trying to puke out.
You're trying to be respectful.
Dude,
You did your thing.
if he wants to take my money, I'd rather puke all over the car and just relax in it.
I mean, at that point,
And just chill.
at that point, you might as well lie and just say like, I actually never puked.
Yeah.
That guy just made it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just messed up. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's
I
messed
mean,
up.
but-
Not a good situation.
Yeah, they took advantage of this. He took advantage of the situation.
It's messed up, man.
It's life, man.
Dude.
Hopefully, Lyft will set it straight. Still waiting to. They closed and reopened my case like 10 times. I'm like, dude, why are you reopening and closing it? What are you doing? It's not a vault.
Right.
Just like fix it.
Just fix it. But they're probably going back and forth. They're probably doing so many dumb
Do you know how many
loops and loops.
Do you know how many times I had to re-explain the whole like lamb doesn't look like that to like a million different of the employees on Lyft? Half the Lyft employees know what lamb throw up looks like now compared to oatmeal throw up because I
Right.
took screenshots of the photos that he uploaded and I'm like, this is not my throw up, and I threw up outside the car, and
Jeez.
and they keep opening my case and I have to keep explaining how I threw up. I'm like, at this point, I'm wasting my time. I could have made money as what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Than wasting my time trying to negotiate this.
So
It was all
lame.
on email, and usually I'm like in my bed, just really trying to get a kick out of it. It's more about the moral, like that's what I'm
It's
not
the
doing it for the
principle.
$100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get it straight. There are going to be people that are going to do that to other people, and I want to make sure that they're not making money off of people's,
No, yeah. This, you know what it kind of reminds me of is Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, this feels like a Curb Your Enthusiasm scene right here.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like, just going around. You think I puke like this?
Yeah, exactly. Think I would have made such a thing like that? You think that could have come out of me? If anything, it would have a little bit of small little puke.
Have you ever seen a lamb puke?
Exactly.
The way I said that makes it sound like if I'm asking if lambs puke. Bad. But this is nasty.
Yeah.
This is nasty. But you've had a lot of different enriching experiences. You even traveled Europe.
Yeah, that was insane. After graduating, I went 4 months.
4 months.
Arba.
Now, I did 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, I did 2 months of travel, and that was long for me, but you did 4. You did twice that.
I got the homesick feeling towards the end. I mean, that was the first
Yeah.
time I left home for that long. I usually go for like a 2-week trip, 1-week trip, but I never been to Europe. And when I went to Europe, I'm like, if I'm going to Europe, I'm going to stay there.
Right.
And I basically lived there for 4 months. And it was by myself, all alone.
I was about to ask, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I traveled by myself. I went to like tons of countries. Oslo, Norway. I went to Budapest, Italy, France.
Wow.
I went to Israel too. That was the highlight of my trip. I can't even think of half the places. I went to tons of places in Switzerland. I mean,
Sure.
Paris. I think I said that too.
No.
I went to Paris and I went to Paris.
Right.
Also Paris.
Right. You just stayed in France the whole time. You never really did Europe. It was just France.
But I did have some crazy trips there. And I also stayed in Budapest. Budapest I stayed for 3 weeks. I had a buddy of mine had an apartment that from his old family members. And he wasn't there at the time. I went there. He actually met up with us afterwards. But yeah, man, that was a crazy like learning experience traveling alone.
Yeah, I bet.
And like learning to communicate with people that do not know what the hell you're saying.
Oh, that's the toughest part.
Budapest, not too many people spoke English in the town I was in. And like my facial expressions really helped tell people what I needed.
Yeah.
Like bathroom.
Well, did you have to play like charades with them a bit?
That's all I did. I played charades all the time.
Yeah.
That's all I did when I was there.
Right.
On the train, charades with random people.
Right.
Just to let them know where the hell am I supposed to get off? I need to go to this and this place.
Right. Right. What's the sign for Oslo?
Oslo?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I'm glad I didn't get stuck there.
Yeah.
They spoke English well over there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I didn't have an issue with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have some crazy stories too while you're traveling.
Well, we had to deal with English barriers ourselves, and there was this one day, me and my best friend Josh, Josh is the king of inside jokes, and he
Nice.
always repeats the same jokes.
Oh, no.
But it's like in a charming way. It's not like in a bad way. But
It's refreshing.
This joke he brings up all the time. So we realized that we were using Eurail to get around, and we realized
Great.
that as soon as you got into a new country, it's best just to book all of your tickets for that Eurail, all your reservations for that Eurail ahead of time.
Nice.
And we, as a group, we're 4 guys total, and we decided 2 of the guys, so Nick and Dylan, are going to go off and try to go in line to get the tickets, while
Nice.
Josh and I are going to go to the kiosk.
Got to split it up.
It just split it up and just try to divide and conquer a bit. So Josh and I are now operating this kiosk, and there's this gypsy woman who's going around, and what she does is she comes and she helps you. She asks you, where are you going? And we tell her, and then she'd press it, and then she'd ask for money.
Uh-oh.
So we said we didn't need help, and she was still asking for money, and we said, no, please go away.
Like when they make those bracelets on your hand and you don't want them, and then they ask you for money.
Right.
They make it for you.
It's the same thing. So this kiosk is only 4 machines. There's 2 machines here, and there's another 2 machines. She's going around in circles like a goldfish.
Uh-oh.
Which I hate to put it like that, but that's what she was doing. So she would circle around the whole thing, and then she'd come right back to us in less than 5 seconds. Less than 5 seconds. And she'd be like, okay, let me help you. I'm like, no, go away. We had to say to this woman, go away.
Uh-oh.
So she did it to us like 5 times. And eventually I said, you're harassing us. You got to stop right now. This is getting ridiculous. And she says, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to call the police. You should call the police. And to this day, Josh still, he'll do the impression, call the police, whenever like I say something to him like that. So then like what
I
happened?
don't even know the number of the police over
No,
there.
I didn't. I realized 911 is not how you call the Italian police. But then she circles around again, and she asks for money again. And so I said, hey, you know what? I'm a poor person too. I'm a poor traveler. How about you give me money? She says, okay. And she reached into her pocket and she gave me a penny.
Uh-oh.
And I was like,
You don't want to touch that.
I was actually I was baffled. And I was like, no, you keep your money. And so like Josh and I, we like somehow like while all this was happening, we were able to figure out the whole entire Uriel thing, and we just walked away. We were so infuriated. That was like this woman was just crazy.
Yeah, you found a lot of those crazies. And I use URL too. I actually went to Prague.
Oh, you went to
I
Prague?
used it to go there. I went from Berlin. I traveled all over Germany too.
I bet that was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love Germany.
Just being on the train and traveling is
Yeah.
gorgeous. We went to Stuttgart. We went to a bunch of different cities all across, Germany.
You say we at this point, were you linked up with other people?
Yeah, I met some friends.
Okay.
Traveled with some friends.
Cool.
People showed me around, and it's good friends.
Yeah.
I travel with, and I actually make friends, and I live at their houses. Like on a flight from Berlin to Zurich, I met somebody, Coco. Coco.
I love that.
Fantastic person.
Okay.
And I lived with her and her family
Okay.
for like 2 weeks. Ate from their fridge.
Wow.
Vegans, easy with kosher.
Wow.
And I wasn't religious at the time. And just like travel, I would meet people. I had an hour-long conversation on an hour flight, and she invited me, and I stayed with the family. And I did that all across, even in Florence and Italy and different places. I would just stay at people's houses.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
That sounds lovely.
That's probably for another time. I have tons of stories about that.
No, I get that. I get that. We, on our trip, we found that whenever we check into a hostel or any kind of situation where we had the opportunity to be social with anyone else who was traveling, the best and most fun travelers were the Aussies, the Australians. I don't know if you had a similar experience.
They tear it up.
They tear it up. We were in Salzburg.
And hostels are usually like that. They throw the parties.
Yeah, they do. They do. When we were in Salzburg in Austria, we met this Australian couple, and the boyfriend brought his own portable didgeridoo, which is that instrument that makes the really cool weird sound. Yeah, that one. He brought his own little mini didgeridoo, and I've only seen the giant ones.
Huge ones, like they go off the mountain.
I'd never seen one that was like maybe a foot long. I never seen that before.
And it makes a sound.
It still makes the sound.
Isn't that considered a shofar? At that.
I know. At that point, it was basically a shofar.
Yeah,
but
he's still an art instrument.
I know.
I would have played it better than him.
That's appropriation.
I play that a few times a year, man. I carry it in my back pocket.
But he told this entire story while we were all taking shots around a hostel table. This table that was in a bar at the bottom of a hostel.
Nice.
He told this little story about this rabbit, and he gave the rabbit the sound effect of the didgeridoo, and it was so entertaining to watch. It was so great. Such a great couple. Very, very three-dimensional, very colorful people. They were so much fun to be around. They were the life of the party.
Nice.
And the Australians know it. I don't know what it is about Australians. They're just so good at being the life of the
they're
party.
living down under.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that means.
Right, whatever that means.
That means they're always celebrating.
They're always celebrating.
But they do know how to travel. I see a lot of them. They know how to do the whole backpack thing. I learned from them.
Right.
They know how to like really pack light.
Yeah.
And have the right material with you.
If I lived in Europe, I'd be traveling all the time. Utilizing the trail. You can even take a train from the UK to France.
Dude, the airplanes, EasyJet. These airplanes are cheaper than buses here.
It's crazy.
Like a Greyhound. Oh, sorry, it's getting late.
Yeah.
Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
And like you could find these crazy. I had a $99 flight on Wow Air.
That's it?
Dude, it was like a tin can in the air. You have to pay for water.
Right.
Your luggage was more expensive than the seat.
It's kind of the Spirit Airlines of Europe, isn't it?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Spirit.
No.
Nobody ever wants to talk about Spirit.
No.
We all go through those dark times where we have to take a Spirit flight.
Totally. It's a bad day.
Oh, this is perfect. I could now like say terrible things about them.
Let's do it.
I've never had a chance to. Guys, don't take Spirit. Don't take Wow.
Don't do it. This is an
Wow
sponsorship.
Look. Spirit is like you're paying some money, but it's super cheap. But Wow is like, dude, like $99. I get it. I'm gonna be sitting in a very dangerous place on a very dangerous flying thing, and it's not good. Like nothing about it made sense. That it was $100 for my seat to Berlin from LA, direct. No, not direct. I stopped in Greenland.
Okay.
I stopped in Greenland. One of those.
Well, which one had snow?
Well, the one that has like that blue lagoon.
Oh, I have no clue.
The blue lagoon, I think, is in Iceland.
Okay. I don't know.
It rains a lot there. I don't know. So it was a stopover, and then I went to Berlin, but it was one stop, $99 flight.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds nice.
that was my flight.
That's great, but also like tin can
Tin can.
in the air.
Yeah.
Right before leaving. So my friends,
They stripped the airplane, by the way. Just want to mention that.
yeah. Oh,
Like
really?
the inside, it's just like no screen, nothing, like no cushion.
Bare
It's-
bones.
Yeah,
Bare bones.
it's like a military plane.
Straight utilitarian
Yeah.
approach. Wow.
But if you need to get somewhere, you have an affordable way to get there. You could pay, if you only have $100. If I had my $100 from my fake vomiting from Lyft, I'll put that money towards a flight to Europe. Think about that.
That's a good plan. That's a very good plan. Right before I left Europe, so my 3 friends, there were 4 of us total. 3 of them, they had used Birthright. They had used their Birthright trip to get to Israel, and then they extended their trip and used that to travel Europe.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. I had done Birthright in my freshman year before them, and thus I couldn't reutilize that trip and extend it to get out there.
If you ever want to go back, LAJ,
LAJ,
plug in,
good to know.
go on LAJ, Los Angeles Jewish Experience.
I'll do that. Good to
Amazing.
know.
All the Jews out there.
Yeah. But what I did was, I just found the cheapest flight back. Some airline called Aeroflot. I had never heard of it before. And
Aeroflot.
And it had the hammer and sickle in the signia, so I knew it was Russian.
Okay.
And it had a 6-hour layover in Moscow, which kind of excited me because I was like, "Ooh, another stop."
Could you go out and like hang out?
So first I thought I could, and then I found out that Russia is so strict that you have to get a separate visa just to leave.
Oh, God.
And also the Moscow airport isn't even in Moscow, so I wouldn't be able to just. I imagine like this glorious morning where I land in Moscow and I leave the airport. And then I see the sunrise in Red Square, sipping on what I imagine would be like a Russian espresso.
That wasn't it.
No, I sat and watched the off-brand of Tom and Jerry in a weird cafe in an airport.
Sounds like a very confusing trip.
It was a very confusing trip. And also, the other thing as well was that, here in America, they kind of hide that Trump and Putin are like in cahoots. But like as soon as you land in Moscow airport, the first thing I saw for less than $4, for less than 4 rubles, was a magazine where Putin and Trump are back and back, shoulder to shoulder. It was hysterical, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Like as seen in Moscow. This is just so dumb and obvious.
Like they're on the same team.
Like they're on the same team. Like
they're
like
chilling.
Yeah, like they're just
Like they
chilling.
both hunt bears together.
Oh yeah, no,
Awesome.
totally.
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's great.
As long as people are showing a positive side for each other, that's good.
Yeah, it's supportive. Right.
Regarding having a confusing trip, I took my uncle's idea seriously. He told me, if you're planning a trip, don't plan. Just get your flight and go. And the truth is, that was the smartest thing I ever did. Because if you don't plan your trip and you get there and things screw up, you can just say, I didn't plan my trip. And the truth is, you can always find cheap flights next city to the next city. You never know which city is having, let's say, a revolt.
Yeah.
So, sometimes some weird stuff happens in Italy. Actually, in Brazil, when I was there,
Okay.
the military in Rio, the police in Rio was on strike.
Oh.
I get there and I find out the police is on strike. I'm like, dude, since when does the police go on strike?
That's the weirdest sentence I've ever heard all day.
I didn't think that's even possible.
Right.
That the police has a choice to be on strike. I mean, who's gonna save anybody? So the military was there, and I'm like, that's when I'm like, glad I didn't plan this.
Yeah.
Just gonna stay in my Airbnb and have some coconut water.
Right.
On Ipanema.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. Keep it mellow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's gnarly.
Yeah, crazy trip. That was there for 2 months. That was a great trip. Brazil was awesome.
I
Fun
really want to
place.
go to Brazil. So you spent
Carnaval.
also different period of your life, 2 months in Brazil.
Yeah. So it was a 4-month trip in Europe. Then I got 8 months of work. Then 2 months in Brazil, which I also did work. I shot some short films there.
Damn.
Super cool.
Dude, I think you peaked. Nah, that's not true. You didn't peak, but that sounds amazing.
That was sick.
Yeah.
And I had pão de queijo.
What is that? Pão de queijo?
Oh, it's the best
Did I say
bread
it right?
cheese. It's the pão de queijo.
Pão de queijo.
Pão de queijo. So the bread and the cheese is one.
Okay.
It's like it's inside the bread. It's
Ooh.
part of. It's not in the bread.
Okay.
But it's part of the dough.
Oh, okay.
It's a cheesy dough.
Oh, I've never had that.
You never had it. It's so good.
That
I had
sounds
it every
amazing.
morning. amazing family. I live also this. I live with the family there.
We live. I think
I didn't
it
pay.
seems like the best
They-
thing to do is you just find a family.
I found this family, amazing family. I'm not
Hey,
gonna
you
say
looking
their
for
name.
kids?
I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want you guys going on Facebook trying to find them to live with them.
Sure.
But a best friend of mine actually started dating their daughter,
Oh.
and we lived with them, and they were fantastic. We had beer every day. Excuse me, and I'm burping the beer now. And they like had the best meals for us, and it's really a social and human feeling. Like you really get to connect with these people that you had no upbringing, and you could connect on the same things. They didn't a lot of them didn't understand my language.
Right.
They spoke Portuguese there,
Portuguese.
and
Yeah.
I spoke English.
Right.
And I still do speak English.
Wow.
But yeah, wow, right?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I can speak English, but I spoke English, and they didn't
No,
understand
more so
me.
the language barrier is what I was saying, wow, too.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
all these different factors leading up to it.
Yeah, and we laughed at the same thing, and that's when I realized something really cool is facial expression is universal. A fart joke is universal. Someone comes in and farts. Like imagine it like, and now Manach Kishani in Craft Motion Films. And like, imagine that really happened. That's
Right.
hilarious.
Right. Right.
As long as the mic picked it up,
Well, I'm like, right.
you know?
Well, imagine if there was like the world was about to go into like World War III,
Yeah.
and then like someone just farted in their big formal speech. Everyone would be laughing,
Comic relief.
and then world peace would be solved.
Not only would he have some sort of relief,
Right.
you know, like letting it out, the world will have some sort of comic relief. And everybody will, lighthearted, dude. Happiness is life. You have to have happiness to get through everything in life, really.
Yeah.
And happiness is a choice. And I always tell everybody, you guys, I'm not a saint. I'm not coming up with this on my own. I've read tons of books about it from our Jewish sages, by the way. And they speak a lot about happiness.
Wow.
And the only way to really serve God is through happiness. You have to
Wow.
be happy yourself. The same with a lot of my friends when they tell me they want to start dating somebody. And they're like, I want to date somebody. I want the perfect girl, and she's gonna be happy. I'm gonna be so happy with her. I'm like, dude, you're miserable right now. Why are you going to go give your terrible life to somebody else? First, fix yourself. Make sure you're happy before you go and be with somebody else. Because then you're gonna be somebody's problem. You want to elevate each other.
Yeah.
And I tell my friends, like, if they're looking for somebody to date, I'm like, I don't think you're ready to date right now. Like, get ready, you know, make sure you're content with yourself and happy, and you worked on your personality traits, because when you get into a serious relationship, you know, a lot of that plays in.
I find that the best relationships kind of happen when you're not looking, when it's kind of least expected.
Yeah. You're not trying as hard.
Not trying as hard, but also you're your most natural self.
Yeah.
And isn't that a weird conundrum?
It's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I tell people it's gonna come. Who am I gonna marry? I'm like, you're gonna marry the right person for yourself. I firmly believe everyone has their soul partner.
Right.
And I think when you become the best version of yourself or close to it, that's when you guys are gonna meet. It's gonna happen naturally.
Absolutely. Did you ever hear the ancient Greek mythology on romance? Like what their theory is on how your soulmate works?
No.
I love this so much, even though it's not of my religion or
Sure.
my personal belief. I just think it's very poetic.
A lot of religions came from a lot of the, a lot of the,
Well, so the idea is when the gods were creating humans, they originally molded us from clay. And as they were molding us, we had 4 legs, 4 arms, 4 eyes, 2 noses, 2 mouths, 2 heads. However, what happened was they realized that it was too complete. And so what they did was they split us up and they put us on opposite sides of the worlds. And in doing so, they made it our life mission to find each other.
nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
Balance the world.
Yeah. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Just like I was attached to someone before I was conceived.
Yeah.
And now my life mission is to find that person in this big maze that we call the world. Isn't that a beautiful thought?
Yeah, I mean, also in Judaism, the belief is your destined soul partner has been chosen before you're brought into the world.
Oh.
And your other half of your soul is actually all going to be in the world at the same time you are, and they're both being sent at the same time.
That's a beautiful
It's
thought.
destined. Who you're going to be with is destined. And I tell people that they're like, oh, I don't understand. So if they're destined, why am I not married yet? And they're in their 30s and 40s. It's a great question.
Yeah.
And the only answer I have is maybe they haven't reached where they're supposed to be yet.
It's a good point.
They're not ready yet. or you're not. And if they say they're ready, and maybe they are ready, then their partner is not ready for them.
Right.
Whoever their soul partner is, they haven't reached the potential they're supposed to be able to be married to you right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, there's just different phases that you got to go through in life to reach that ultimate peak to be that. I think the best way to find the person you love is to love yourself first. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a Jewish moral right there.
If there's one thing I would say that I would like for you guys to take away from this,
Yeah,
is find Rabbi Manis Friedman on YouTube. He's a psychologist, clinical psychologist, and he has the most amazing things on relationship, lust, love, and the reality of all these feelings. Like Rabbi Manis Friedman has changed lives on the daily on YouTube. Check him out on YouTube. You go to his talks. Amazing.
that's remarkable. He sounds like an incredible speaker.
Really, very, very cool, calm. He talks with a smile, very relaxed. Sometimes you got to play his stuff like times 2 on YouTube, just because he speaks pretty slow, and that's fine. If you're chilling, just chill with him.
Is he the Bob Ross of rabbis?
I guess you could call him that,
Yeah, I like that.
but a little bit more spiritual.
A little more spiritual, not with paintings.
Exactly.
Man, that's cool. But now we're in this place. So I mean, you now have craft motion films and whatnot, but there were some steps that took to get there. You said that craft motion films was conceived from another project prior to that.
Yeah, I mean, I started with freelance, right? I did small videos here and there, but I'm not going to go back all the way there. I'm going to really start with my biggest break, which was working for a large tech company called Sabrent. A partner and I, Menachem Silverstein and I,
The other Menachem.
The other Menachem. I've only worked with Menachems, which is really creepy.
That's really weird.
How Menachem? How many times have you heard the name Menachem before? I mean, for non-Jews. And then my last business partner was Menachem, and this one is Menachem too. He's Menachem Mendel.
Even, by the way, for me, who is Jewish, who went to Jewish summer camp, who went to Temple Etz Chaim, and all these different things, it was very involved Jewishly. This is the first Menachem I've ever met before.
And you're welcome.
Yeah, I feel very blessed.
No problem.
Yeah.
So Menachem Silverstein gave me an opportunity to work with him at a tech company, and what happened was we became an internal tech company. We did all the media for them.
I see.
We first started off just making for not only this Sabrent, this tech company. Check them out on Amazon, #1 selling brand with a lot of the stuff they sell. But they owned like 5 or 6 other companies, and all of them online based. And there's this whole thing going on. So we were doing tons of product videos and product photography, fashion photography. There's a French brand we were working with under them, and we just grew. We hustled. This was hustling. We didn't let it hustle us, but we hustled. Going to Home Depot to get like boards for like these photo shoots that we never did. We did crazy photo shoots at this $1 million mansion on Sunset. It's like $130 million, like something
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
And we didn't pay for it. The company did. Not our company, the larger company. Long story short, we started there. And from there, Wingman Production, we left after we developed a whole system for them internally. Our job was to create a production company internally for them so that they can make everything in-house, older products, everything to make in-house, all the video products and assets they needed. GIFs, creative GIFs to like photo shoots to videos, to like videos with storyline. And that's kind of where my comedic commercial side came out with my ads, because we did some for them. And from that, what happened was we came out as Wingman Production. We hit the market as a product video based production company.
I see.
And nothing bit for like 8 months. And that's when we started to like dissolve our brand. And I realized, look, I do a lot of videos for organizations naturally, for schools and nonprofits, just on the side. And I'm like, I do them well. I'm a great storyteller. Why don't I partner up with the freelance guy, Mendel Katz, we used to hire each other out for certain gigs, and make a partnership. And we tested it out. We started being booked left and right. Our product became better and better. And that's where craft motion films kind of came out of. So we tested a lot of things. You really went through a lot. But to start even before then was when my friend submitted my film to First Take Film Festival at UCLA.
Okay.
And that was insane, because basically I made a film during a film class I was in at UCLA with Professor Noose, and digital cinematography. And after that, the film that I made for my final exam was great, called The Loop. And the partner of mine in the class submitted it to a film festival at UCLA, and we were competing against UCLA film students. And it was a Friday night. I keep Shabbat, so I slept at the Bayit, which is a place at UCLA, Jewish co-op. And I walked there, and I'm like, nothing's gonna happen because my friend's like, oh, your videos actually made it as a contestant. I'm like, no way.
Wow.
And my friend submitted it, so I went there, and I ended up winning Best Director. And I'm like, holy cow! Like I have a chance in this.
Yeah.
And I started taking it seriously. I under David Psoars, I took an advanced directors program at UCLA, and I took it seriously. I took a lot of extracurricular classes on top of that program, and I learned a lot about film. I learned a lot, and most importantly, I met a lot of people in film. We started doing projects together, and the rest is history. I mean, the rest is people started noticing you and your craft. That's a big part of us.
It's huge.
A craft is something that you get good at and people pay top dollar for. And we're not there yet. We want people to pay top dollar for us. But right now we're making some kick-ass commercials you guys can see on our site and videos for organizations and companies that I would love for you guys to check out, and even give me some tips, on some stuff maybe you see that you think I could advance on, because they're much larger production companies than us. But we're scaling, thank God, and things are really booming, and it's fantastic, man. It's a fantastic feeling.
That's huge. Let me ask you this. If someone on the other end right now wanted to give you that advice, or even just simply collaborate or inquire within about you helping them make a commercial,
Sure.
what is the best way to contact you?
You can literally drop me a DM on Instagram at Menachem K, M as in Mary, ENACHEMK on Instagram. Or you can send an email to craftmotionfilms@gmail.com. Craftmotionfilms at Gmail. And I'd love to chat. I'd love to catch up on any project you might be working on, and reach out. And yeah, I think that's the best way.
All that information will be displayed in the description below. And finally, Menachem, the question that I ask everybody on my podcast: what will you be famous for?
I'll probably be famous for Dr. Shirazi. On top of everything that I've been wanting to push, that's probably gonna naturally just grow and become its own thing. Whether it's because I do something illegal as Dr. Shirazi, or if it actually picks up.
Well, Menachem, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys for joining.